Nightmare on the abandoned highway. It was a moonless night, and a thick fog had settled over the desolate highway. I was driving alone, exhausted from a long day of work and eager to get home. The only thing keeping me awake was the monotonous hum of the engine and the occasional passing headlights. As I continued down the darkened road, I noticed a figure in the distance, a hitchhiker standing by the side of the highway. My instincts told me to keep going, but guilt gnawed at me. The poor soul might be stranded, desperate for help. Against my better judgment, I slowed down and rolled down the window. "Need a ride?" I called out, my voice shaky. The hitchhiker's face was hidden beneath a worn-out hat, but I could see a faint nod. Without a second thought, I unlocked the car door, and the stranger climbed into the back seat. "Thank you for stopping," the hitchhiker said in a low, raspy voice. "I thought I'd be stuck here all night." "You're welcome," I replied nervously, my grip on the steering wheel tightening. "Where are you headed?" "Any direction is fine," the hitchhiker replied cryptically. "I just need to get away from here." As we drove on, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about this person. Their presence was unnerving, and an inexplicable dread settled over me. The fog outside seemed to grow thicker, and the road ahead seemed endless. To distract myself from the discomfort, I attempted to engage in small talk, but every question I asked was met with vague responses or uncomfortable silence. My anxiety increased with each passing mile, and I began to regret my decision to pick up this stranger. Finally, my rationality overpowered my guilt, and I decided to find a way to end this uncomfortable situation. I pretended to receive a phone call, apologizing to the hitchhiker for the sudden interruption, and explained that I needed to pull over for a moment. As I slowed the car and pulled onto the shoulder, the hitchhiker's demeanor shifted. A sinister grin crept across their face, visible even in the dim light of the dashboard. "I think we'll be staying right here," the hitchhiker said, producing a gleaming knife from beneath their coat. "Don't make any sudden moves." Fear paralyzed me as the realization of the danger I had put myself in sank in. I had stumbled into a trap, a helpless prey caught in the snare of a predator. The highway, once a symbol of freedom and adventure, had become my prison. "What do you want from me?" I stammered, my voice barely audible. "Oh, it's not about what I want from you," the hitchhiker hissed. "It's about what I want to do with you." My heart pounded in my chest as I searched for an escape route, but there was nowhere to run. The dense fog had hidden us from view, and no other cars were in sight. I was at the mercy of this sadistic stranger. With a sudden surge of terror, I reached for the car door, hoping to bolt out and run for my life. But before I could open it, the hitchhiker lunged forward, grabbing my wrist with an iron grip. "I wouldn't do that if I were you," they sneered. "You'll only make things worse for yourself." As I trembled, the hitchhiker forced me to drive further down the abandoned highway, away from any signs of civilization. Panic and despair engulfed me, and I realized that no one would be able to help me now. The minutes felt like hours as the dark road stretched on endlessly. The only sound was the hitchhiker's malicious laughter, sending chills down my spine. The headlights illuminated nothing but an eerie void, and the fog seemed to engulf us entirely. Just when I thought all hope was lost, a faint glimmer of light appeared in the distance. An old gas station stood like a beacon of hope amidst the darkness. Maybe, just maybe, I could find help there. "Turn in there," the hitchhiker commanded, pointing toward the station. "But remember, one wrong move and your life ends here." I complied, pulling into the station with trembling hands. As I parked, I noticed a flickering neon sign spelling out "Open" in faded letters. It was a small comfort to see signs of life, but I knew that danger was still lurking behind me. The hitchhiker ordered me to stay in the car while they went inside the gas station, presumably to prepare for whatever horrifying fate awaited me. This was my only chance to escape. Summoning all my courage, I quickly unbuckled my seatbelt and slipped out of the car. My heart pounded in my ears as I made my way toward the station, praying that someone inside could help me. To my immense relief, the gas station attendant, a middle-aged man, was inside. I stumbled into the store, barely able to speak as I gasped for breath. "Help me! Please, you have to help me! There's someone out there who wants to kill me!" I pleaded. The attendant, startled by my distress, called the police immediately. Moments later, I heard sirens in the distance, growing louder as they approached the gas station. The police arrived just in time to catch the hitchhiker. It turned out they were a wanted criminal who had been preying on unsuspecting victims for months. As I gave my statement to the police, a mix of gratitude and guilt washed over me. I was grateful for being saved, but I couldn't forget the fact that my kindness had almost cost me my life. The highway had become a nightmare, a cautionary tale of the dangers that lurk in the darkness. From that day on, I never ventured down an abandoned highway again. I had learned my lesson, the hard way, that some paths should never be taken and some strangers should never be trusted. The memory of that terrifying night haunted me, a constant reminder that evil could manifest in the most unexpected forms.